6 p.m. in Douala. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the news today, May 19, 2023. Our major stories right away. In some hours, Cameroonians will be celebrating the 20th of May, which symbolizes national unity. President Paul Biya will be presiding over the march past at the 20th May Boulevard Yaoundé tomorrow. The National Day celebration is coming at a time there is still insecurity and tension in the two English-speaking regions of the country. And today we will be taking you to Mundemba and Ekondo Titi in the southwest region, where the March for Unity took place today amidst very tight security. That is our major story, viewers. Stay with us for details and more. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for staying on. We told you in the headlines a while ago that preparations are upbeat across Cameroon ahead of the National Day to be celebrated tomorrow, May 20. We take you now to the Indian division, where the March for Unity took place in total security because of fear of the unknown. Our Southwest regional correspondent Davidson Maimo tells us how it happened in Ekondo Titi in the Indian division of the Southwest region.
The unity walk took place under tight security as the Member of Parliament for Ekondo Titi and Dikume Balwe constituency, Njume Peter, admitted it has been years since he last took part in this event due to the ongoing Anglophone crisis.
This is the very first time after several years. I think the last time I did this unitary march was, if I'm not mistaken, 2017. Since then, I've not been able to participate in this unitary march.
The local population, most of whom did not take part for fear of the unknown, watched the administrative personnel walk through the town in a serene but unclear atmosphere. Honorable Njume Peter says, unlike before, they will have stayed indoors for fear of being tagged as blacklegs.
When I saw the population also so excited, watching at us, I understood one thing, that after everything, the people have understood that something has been stolen away from them. And what has been stolen away from them is their peace, is their dignity, is their right to live in harmony. And this excitement carries just one message. They are yearning for the return to peace.
The mayor, Margaret Ndiba, says, thanks to the defense and security officers, the municipality is gradually gaining steam.
I have a team. The security team is perfect. I have no worry, I have no problem. Very collaborative. They just need to hear and they act.
Everything being equal, the wish of the people of the Ekondo Titi subdivision, just like others in parts of the northwest and southwest regions, is for lasting peace to be restored.
And the March for Unity here in the city of Douala just ended a while ago. Still talking about the National Day celebration in the report, which comes up next. Babina Jonathan tells us how men, women and even children trooped into the stands of the Navy at the open door days of the National Armed Forces here in Douala to know more about that unit of the Defense and Security Forces of Cameroon. His report.
Children and their parents discovering operational equipments of the Cameroon Navy. With excitement and curiosity, he tries to pilot a military boat, while she feels so comfortable as much as wanting to sleep in it. Stepping down from the boat is not an easy task. The visitors at the stand of the Navy during the open door days of the National Armed Forces in Douala ahead of National Unity Day celebration are edified on the missions of the Marine Branch of the National Armed Forces of the Republic of Cameroon. They are told that with these equipments and more, the Navy protects and defends the country's maritime and coastal areas. The fight against piracy and illegal trade activities are undertaken by Navy officers to ensure the safety of maritime navigation.
And now, viewers, do you know the theme of the 51st edition of the National Day, which will be celebrated tomorrow? Our reporter, Innocent Azel, will be analyzing the theme with a civil society actor in the report, which comes up next. So just watch on.
Defense forces and Cameroonian people in harmony to safeguard peace and national unity. Bedrock of a strong and prosperous Cameroon is theme of the 51st edition of the National Unity Day. A theme which, according to a political analyst, is not just lengthy and difficult to retain, but also complicated to understand. Analyzing the theme, he says, authorities just revealed that the country is sick.
It's telling us that something is not going well in the nation between the population and the defense forces. There are cracks here and there, challenges here and there, one trouble or another. The population is not collaborating with the defense forces. And I think this team is coming up to educate the masses to understand that the population is supposed to work in collaboration with defense forces for their own interest and to protect the well-being and unity of the nation. That is exactly what I see this theme is all about. It's trying to resolve a problem.
Dissecting the term harmony in the theme, the analyst discovers it is under strangulation threats, reason why the state dons want it cured.
I don't see how a security officer that was trained to safeguard peace, unity, and integrity of the nation is beating the same civilian he was trained to protect. And if the masses also begin to fight the same military that were destined to look up to for security, then something has definitely gone wrong. And I think that this particular theme is coming up to make us understand that there is a particular disease eating up the very fabrics of the nation that needs to be healed.
Dwelling on the term safeguarding peace and national unity by both parties, Apostle Dr. Ambe thinks it is due to rise in the rates of insecurity in the country that it resurfaces every May 20.
As a matter of fact, a reference or a case study is in the Northwest and the Southwest, where we have the Anglophone crisis. I think the separatists are protected by the population, and they are not working in collaboration with the military. If I thought they were working in collaboration with the military, then definitely they would have joined the military to fight against the separatists. On the other hand, the separatists are also against the military, and the population also is defending part of the separatists. This brings us to understand that if the population works in collaboration with the military, definitely they can put out any form of insecurity in any environment.
With the persistent socio-political conflicts across the national territory, there will never be any bedrock to support a resilient economy.
War can never sponsor prosperity, and this is the reason why they are talking about the strength of peace for the prosperity of the nation. The bedrock of prosperity is peace. Without peace and serenity, businesses cannot thrive, institutions cannot work, people cannot trade from one environment to another. A lot of businesses, a lot of companies, a lot of institutions have crumbled as a result of the loss of peace we've experienced in this country for the past 6 to 7 years.
Even though the authorities have raised a national problem in this year's theme, it is now left for the civilians and the military to swallow their lava, shake hands, and work together in the atmosphere of trust for the theme's goal to be achieved.
And now we are talking unity, we are talking love. Several couples have celebrated their love at a collective marriage ceremony which took place at the Douala 4 Council that was yesterday. Immaculate Fogwe tells us that most of them have been living in concubinage for as long as 15 years, and they now tell us why they decided to legalize their unions.
Mr. and Mrs. Quindi have been living together for the past 15 years. Financial constraints has been advanced as one of the major reasons why they had to take this long to be legally married.
Very happy today to be in this council today with this certificate that the Lord Mayor have given me. Yeah, it was a but I was hoped that a day like this will come. But I'm lucky that today I'm able to make it.
Despite his disability, his wife promises to stay by his side by giving him the moral support he needs. She appreciates God for keeping her alive despite the ghastly accident he was involved in.
I'm feeling very happy because I've been waiting for this opportunity to come, but I cannot have it.
A moment of intense joy for this other couple who have been living together for the past 7 years. They express gratitude to the mayor who organized this event.
For many years, I ever wished to have this marriage certificate, but I was having financial obstacle, because I was working in the company, but things were not moving for me to afford to sign this marriage certificate. But after a long time, I've seen myself having it, so I'm very happy.
According to the mayor, the organization of collective marriages is meant to discourage illegal marital unions, commonly known in Pidgin as kamuste.
We are very happy today because it's a wedding day for 15 couple of Douala 4. We are very happy because when we have those marriage, it's important to have legal union. And today those couples have a legal union. And all things who occur with the legal union. We are very happy today. It's important to notice that in December we will have 100 couples. The registration is open.
The mass marriage campaign is expected to help bring stability to homes and the society at large.
Happy marriage life to all the couples. And now we talk something else. We move on to these human interest stories. The body of a young man was whose name regarded as Yannick was recently discovered in an advanced state of decomposition in Mamfe in the Manu division of the Southwest region. Family members say he might have died after an epilepsy attack. And in Kumba, still in the Southwest region, a truck driver is under detention after he reportedly hit a bike transporting children, and instead of stopping, he tried to escape. Lucy Liengu Esie compiled those human interest stories for us.
Shock and consternation grieves the population of Mamfe, Manu division of the Southwest region, as the lifeless body of a young man was discovered in a state of decomposition. The young man who sells firewood in the locality got missing for 2 days. His neighbors who had been in search of him say they are shocked. 2 days ago, he said he was going to buy firewood. He is involved in firewood business. Since then, we haven't seen him. We knew he had gone to buy. This afternoon, we got a smell of something, but we did not know it was Yannick. Yannick was later discovered by his meeting members with whom they were in a Jange group.
Who come checking for house, whether it's the house or not, or asking neighbor them, say we don't go. So now I make them now come house, for can check it, for discover so it is house. And I come, particular, I spy through window, through door. Before they realize this, so Yannick days house, we always sleep cover. So I holla say Yannick don't die house. So that's how we discover it. Where Yannick an epilepsy patient. Yes, we all know. So we know that's what we talk about. So the item. Yes, because you don't fall, see another 1 time, maybe 2 times.
Investigations are said to have been launched to determine the real cause of his death. Still in the Southwest region, this time in Kumba Meme division, a young man knocked down a commercial bike rider transporting children. He tried escaping, but unfortunately for him, he was caught by the angry population who got him beaten. In an attempt to escape the angry mob, the driver found himself in the premises of the Kumba Council. The intervention of the city mayor, Gregory Mewanu, led to the arrest of the driver.
And now we move on to our sports page viewers. Cotonsport of Garua with 6 points are certain to lift the title of the Elite One Championship come Sunday with a draw match against Canon Sportif of Yaoundé. But should Canon and Bamboutus of Buda pick up victories on Sunday, then 3 clubs, Cotonsport, Bamboutus and Canon, will be tied to 6 points each. What does the rules and regulations say in this situation? Smart Jikan Gabriel read through the rules and regulations. He now puts together this report for the news.
After their second victory in the ongoing playoffs to determine the Elite One League champions for the 2022-2023 football season, Cotonsport of Gadwa are top of the table with 6 points to their credit. A win or draw for Cotonsport of Gadwa will guarantee them the trophy come Sunday, May 21, 2023. In the case where Coton is beaten, then Canon and Bamboutus of Mbuda pick up their second wins, we shall have a situation where 3 clubs will have 6 points each. In this case, the rules and regulation
of the game will be brought into play. The goal difference, best attack, and best defense will be considered. The number of cards, either yellow or red, that each club has received will be brought into play, with the club that has the least yellow or red card to be considered, and the club with the least numbers of cards will occupy the first spot. In the case where the equality persists, then a mini tournament will be organized for the clubs on a neutral ground. If after 90 minutes there is no winning goal from any of the clubs, the match will go into penalty shootout that will determine the winner. A total of 7 goals have been scored this far at the playoffs. Gazelle FC of Garwa is still to find the back of the net since the playoffs started. Canons Emmanuel Mahop scored his 14th goal of the Elite One League this Thursday. Should Cotton Sport of Garwa win on Sunday, then they will be retaining a trophy they won last year.
Thank you so much, Smart, for that sports report, which brings us to the end of the first part of the news. Viewers, don't go away. As usual, Talking Point comes up next. Stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. You already know tomorrow Cameroonians will be celebrating the National Day. We are talking about national unity. And my guest tonight is a civil society actor. He is G. Lucas. He's coming to us from Boya. G. Lucas, we thank you so much for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. We are talking about national unity. We know it is no news that in Cameroon we have been preaching the gospel of living together, of vivre ensemble. What interpretation do you, as a Cameroonian or as a civil society actor, give to the phrase living together in Cameroon?
Cameroonians of all shades of opinion, tomorrow, which is the May 20th, will be celebrating the 20th of May. And Cameroon is actually plagued with a lot of issues that surrounds hate speech. And we shouldn't forget that hate speech are languages that are not needed, because the law of Cameroon is against hate speech, the United Nations is against hate speech. And hate speech summarily is described as a discriminatory statement which is made against a person or a group of people by the United Nations. And I want to say that we can't be talking about national unity or issues of national unity with such amount of hate speech that we now experience among Cameroonians. These are not things that Cameroonians should celebrate on a day like this, in the time of the history of Cameroon, such as we have. And in summary of the day of tomorrow, it's about our national unity, to look at what is the contribution of the civilian population and the military population with regards to national unity and our harmony. And I want to say that hate speech, such as defined by the United Nations, is very conspicuous in almost gathering of every big gathering of today. When I talk about big gathering, I'm talking about Cameroonians who think that at the political front they have a lot to say. It is common for you to hear top politicians today talk about things that has to do with hate speech. And I think that it is time for us as a people to put hands on deck and to come together and combat this ill which is creeping into the society, which is destroying the country. And I think that the best way to do this is to have everyone on board. Hate speech is the worst thing that has ever happened to a country. If you look at the South Africans and what happened, especially within the period of the apartheid, it was widely propagated by hate speech. And today in Cameroon, we have that so much. We are quick to hear others call people the Tontus, the persons who are coming from other regions. They call them all defamatory names because they think that others are more important than others, which I think it is not the best. Thank you.
You seem to really be condemning hate speech, which is somehow a problem to national unity, and you're completely right there, Mr. G. Lucas. Now, can Cameroon, as we see it, be considered as a model of unity? In our context, can we consider Cameroon as a model of national unity?
And it is also important to let Cameroonians start. we are talking about the indivisibility of the country. And there is one thing which is quite conspicuous, like I said, is the aspect of hate speech. Today, it is very common to hear persons of class try to deform others, try to look at others with a lot of prejudice. And when you look at these things, they are not in any way building a nation. We talk about one and indivisible Cameroon. And when you hear aspect of hate speech, where a certain ethnic group is quick to call others by the names which are not welcoming, which are all hate speech, at a time when the Musonge Commission talks about the fight against things like this as their job description gives them. These are people whom I can say that they are indeed segregating, dividing, splitting, spreading out the nation of Cameroon to different segments. And proponents of, if you call me by what you identify me, for example, some people are quick to call others settlers or people we don't like. Some are quick to call others the Tontus. Some are quick to call others the Burmese. Some are quick to call others, as you have them being identified as the Ewundos. Some are quick to call others the Dualas. This identity is not on the basis of calling others as per what they are coming from. It is because Cameroonians, most often, certain Cameroonians want to divide the people. And we can't talk about indivisibility when we are quick to identify people by their ethnicity. Whereas we ought to identify Cameroonians by the fact that Cameroon is a nation with two principal languages. And we can't talk about our national day when we look at these things. For example, how does this unite the people? It doesn't unite the people in any way. Rather, if you were not a Cameroonian and you're watching Cameroonians of all shades of the Republic, with the different stratas of the Republic, calling others by this and trying to make others feel like they are not a Cameroonian, whereas they are Cameroonians. You find bona fide Cameroonians who try to alienate other bona fide Cameroonians because they identify them through certain hate speech, like we watched in some time past, like we listen to in some time past, where other Cameroonians are said to be Cam no go and the rest. These are not words that are welcoming at all, because they come to tell us that we are a divided people. And you can't talk about Cameroon being one and.
And now, Mr. Nji Lucas, what according to you should be done? Not necessarily only by the government, by the society, and also at individual levels, to scrap away these hate speeches and ensure that Cameroonians can live, that living together can be real and not just a slogan in the country.
Consequences of such are quite enormous. For example, if you look at young Cameroonians today out there, there is this picture in their heads. If you look at what is happening within the society, a man from the north can clearly identify with only people from the north. The people from the central region want to identify with people from the central region. The people from the grass field want to identify with people from the grass field. The people from the forest zone want to identify with people from the forest zone. Now, these are different geographical regions of the Republic of Cameroon. It doesn't make Cameroon, so to say. And the consequences, like I said, they are enormous. Because of such things, you find young people who think that if I'm coming from Yaoundé as the Ewundos, they tell you that they are in control of the nation of Cameroon. And you look at the people from the grass field, where you have the people from the west region right down to the northwest region. They have this feeling that they are not welcome in the Republic of Cameroon. You look at the people from the southwest region, they think that they own certain areas. For example, you go to the Dualas, you have young people who are coming up, and these ideas are being put in them by their politicians. Whereas if you look at the people with their system of living together, you will realize that these are not the things they project in their living together. The common man does not see this as a problem. But the politicians are struggling day in, day out to divide the people through certain things, such as these things. So I think that this is the time for the law in Cameroon to have its full hand against persons who uses such words such as people we don't like, strangers, Kam No Go, the Tongtus, the Bamins, the Ewondos, and the rest. You don't identify Cameroonians by that. We should be able to look at what is our national unity. We have things in Cameroon that identify us as Cameroonians. These are the things we should rather use as Cameroonians to identify ourselves, both in and out there. And I think that if we do this, we must have solved the jigsaw or the puzzle, which is who is a Cameroonian. A Cameroonian should not be identified by that. So the consequences are enormous. So I think that this is the time for us Cameroonians to sit and together we can fight this. The civil society should not be the only one to fight against this. If they identify these people, let the government prosecute. You should be able. You live in a community. When you are called.
Thank you, Nji Lucas, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. And we hope to have you some other time so we can talk more on living together in Cameroon. Viewers, thank you so much for being with us.